were expected to finish no better than sixth in their division and ended up winning it all and making it to the World Series in '69. Now the Orioles were heavily favored in the series. They were thought to have one of the best teams of all time with Frank Robinson and Boog Powell and Paul Blair and Brooks Robinson, Dave Johnson. And the pitching staff was amazing. And today we have Dave McNally for the Orioles against Jerry Koosman for the Mets in what could be the last game of the series for the Mets. If they do not win, they're eliminated. We're playing the fifth game, which is at Shea Stadium in Flushing, Queens, New York. And on cloudy days, you're going to get a flight pattern to LaGuardia Airport that stands about 2-3 miles from here. That is right above the stadium, so you will hear the planes, and it can get rather loud. Players have been known to step out of the box when the plane flies overhead, and take a second. So, just wanted to set that up for you, and we're going to go to the game. We're going to start it off right away. Let me get down the time. And it's 5:12 exactly, so we got that going. Let's see. All right. Crowd is excited. It's a packed house, 56,000 here at Chase Stadium in Flushing, Queens. And we're going to get started. Let's do the lineups real quick. Buford is going to bat first, playing left field. Batting second is Paul Blair, center field. Frank Robinson batting third. Right field, Boog Powell, cleanup, first base. Brooks Robinson fifth at third base. Davey Johnson at second. Batting sixth at second base. Batting seventh is Andy Etchebarren. At catcher, Mark Belanger batting eighth at shortstop. And the pitcher, Dave McNally, batting ninth. That's for the Orioles. And for the History Maker Baseball Mets, Tommy Agee, center field, leading off. Excuse me. Bud Harrelson, shortstop, batting second. Cleon Jones, left field, batting third. Don Clendenin, cleanup at first base. Ron Swoboda batting fifth in right field. Ed Charles batting sixth at third base. Jerry Grody batting seventh at catcher. Batting eighth is Al Weiss, the second baseman. Tommy Agee, center field. I'm sorry. And that was eighth. Weiss was eighth. And then we have Jerry Koosman, who will bat ninth for the Mets. And we're going to get started. If the Mets can win this one, we'll go to Baltimore to play the last two. Play the first two in Baltimore. Let's get started. Okay, let's see, 256. See a struggler. No, McNally, Koosman is an ace, a semi-flash, and control. Champion or patient? Well, he is a semi-patient. Decide or Die says no, he is not. And it's infield drama. Infield drama, 2-5. The second baseman iron. No, he is not. Routine bouncer. To Weiss. Over to first. One away. A 1-5-6 for Paul Blair. A 1-5-6, and you can see Blair is a semi-hero, a slugger, and eager. A 1-5-6. I look under that, and there's nothing under the pitcher. And then under the batter. It asked me about whiffer. Is he a whiffer? Well, he is not. And then it goes to the outfield drama. So now we have outfield drama. We just had infield drama. So there's a lot of drama going on here. 3-5 in outfield drama. Is the left fielder gold? He's semi-gold, but the decide or die, I'm sorry. Left fielder is semi-gold. Decide or die says no, he is not. So it's a looping fly ball that drops into the gap for a double for Blair. Paul Blair goes into second standing. Frank Robinson with a runner at second base. That's a 3-4-5. 3-4-5. Is it an iron catcher? No. Good eye. Is Robinson a good eye? No. And it's a strikeout taking us to the right now chart. So it's a strikeout for Koosman. And we go to the right now chart. Now let's look and see. 3-4. Is it a cold batter? No, he would be neutral. So it's going to be a high fly. And Swoboda is there for the third out of the inning. We have one hit, no runs. In half of the inning, score is 0-0. Okay, it's going to be Tommy Agee. Tommy Agee, semi-home run king, semi-whiffer, hit 23 home runs in that season. He's only one of two Mets that had over 400 at-bats in that 69 season. The other one was Cleon Jones, who finished third in the batting title competition. 2-3-3. Is McNally an ace or a star? He's a star, but it's a semi-star, so the decider die says no. Is he a slugger? No. It's a fly ball to center. Blair makes the catch. Buddy Harrelson. 1-3-3 for Buddy Harrelson. He is a scrapper. He's got a high fly to left. Buford. 2 away. Cleon Jones batted .340. Hit 12 home runs in 69. The left fielder for the Mets. 2-3-5. Wild, no. Is he eager? No, he is not. It's Chopper to Johnson. Johnson whips over to Powell. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the second. Robinson. Robinson is a utility and a semi-home run king. 2-3-3. Koosman is an ace. Say one hopper to the shortstop. And Harrelson over to first, 1 away. Say 1-1-5 to Davy Johnson. High fly to the left side. Both Charles and Harrelson converge. Harrelson calls it. 2 away. And Andy Etchebarren. 1-1-5. Again, another high fly, excuse me, to the infield. And this time it's going to be the third baseman, Charles. That's 3 up, 3 down. The end of 1.5. 0-0. We go to the Mets. Don Clendenon, Ron Swoboda, and Ed Charles. Now, Don Clendenon platooned at first base with the lefty hitting Ed Kranepool. Together, they managed 23 home runs and over 100 RBIs. The other big platoon was Swoboda and Shamsky in right field. They also managed 23 home runs as a team with 95 RBIs. So Gil Hodges, the manager for the Mets, employed the platoon system throughout the season to get the most out of the Mets batters. All right, let's do this. All right, 3-6-6. 3-6-6. The pinch hitters fly out to Blair in center, 1 away. Ron Swoboda. Ron Swoboda is a semi-utility, semi-slugger, and a whiffer. And it's 1-2-3. Is he both flash and fresh? Yes, he is. Strike 3. First strikeout for McNally. And Ed Charles. Ed Charles hit 3 home runs and batted .207. So not much offense. 1-5-6. Is he a whiffer? Semi-whiffer. Decided die says no. Outfield drama. 4-6. Left fielder iron. No, he's semi-gold. So it's lined to left field. Buford makes the catch. Go to the top of the third. 0-0. See, Mark, the semi-gold glove shortstop, and known for his glove, not for his hitting, but in '69 he batted .287, so he was a heck of a player for them in '69. I know after that he is known as a light-hitting shortstop, singles-hitting scrapper type. 3-4-5. Iron catcher. No. Could I? No. And a strikeout, and we go to the right now chart. So Belanger strikes out, and McNally's going to go to the right now chart. It's called the baseball right now chart, and we're going to see McNally. Let's grab him, take a look at what he does. The pitcher on the baseball right now chart is a 1-6. Is the pitcher hot? Yes, he is, because he just struck out the last batter. So fools batter into swinging at the outside pitch. It's an easy ground to the short. Harrelson up with it. Over to Clendenon at first. 2 away. And we go to the top of the lineup. Don Buford. Don Buford had a pretty good season. 11 home runs and .291 batting average. The everyday left fielder for the Orioles. 4-6-6. Is he wild? No, Koosman is not wild. It's actually control. And is it a home run king? Or a slugger? No. Singles to left. Buford on at first. Paul Blair. Paul Blair doubled last time at bat. Say 1-3-4. Is it a gold catcher? Well, the decided die says no, he is not. Is he a champion? No, he is not. It's going to be outfield drama. Outfield drama. That's a 4-4. Center fielder iron. No, he is not. Otherwise, it's a beautiful running grab by the center fielder Agee for the third out. Agee can really play defense out there. So the Orioles leave one after 2.5. The score is 0-0. We're going to have Jerry Grody, Al Weiss, and the pitcher, Jerry Koosman. Let's say 3-4-6. 3-4-6. Is he eager? Yes, he's semi-eager. Decider die says no, he is not eager. You can't see the decider die there. Let me see. Let's pull it out. There you go. So it has to have the bullet for it to be a yes to that is he eager question. So he's not eager. 3-4-6. So it's a walk. Is he active? No, he's a stoic, semi-stoic runner. See that? So he does not steal. So Grody's on base with a walk. And then we're going to see Al Weiss. Al Weiss batted .215 with 2 home runs. He actually does hit a home run in Game 5, I believe, of this World Series in '69. 4.55. 4.55. Is McNally flash? He's semi-flash. Decided die says yes. Strikeout. Strikes out Weiss for the second strikeout of the game from McNally. And now we're going to see Jerry Koosman batting. Jerry Koosman with 1 out, runner on first. Grody's at first. He walked. 1-3-5. Unusual result. Unusual result with a blue 1 and a runner on first. It's going to be a umpire call. So we're going to put this here. We're going to roll 2 dice and the decider die again. 1-5. So respected umpire at home. That's Lou DeMuro's at home, and he's a semi-strict, so that's a no. So other umpires call ball 2, batter still at bat. Okay. So Koosman's still batting. He's 2-0 on the count. That's a 1-5-6. 1-5-6. Is he a whiffer? Yes, he is. Strike 3. Third strikeout from McNally and Tommy Agee. Tommy Agee batted .271 and walloped 26 home runs in '69 for the Mets. One of only 2 Met players to have over 400 at-bats. Gil Hodges used a platoon system throughout the season. Say 1-3-4. See, the gold catcher at Chabaron is not a gold catcher. Champion is not a champion. Outfield drama. Outfield drama. See what happens. It's a 3-4 in the outfield. A 3-4 is a left fielder iron. No, he is not. So an easy fly out to medium left field. And Buford for the 3rd out. And we go to the top of the 4th. Still no score. Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson, 5.56. I left Koosman in his dugout. There you go. All right. And he's an ace. So it's a 5.56. Asked me 5.56. Asked me, is he an ace? And Koosman is an ace, so that's a line out to Charles at 3rd. 1 away. Boog Powell. 2.25. Is Koosman a star? No, he is not. Slugger or sad sack? He is a slugger. So it's a... Is he a whiffer? No, he's not a whiffer. And it's a high fly to right. Swoboda. 2 away. Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson only batted .234 in '69, but he did hit 23 home runs. And let's say 4.56. Is he patient? No, he is not. It's a fly ball to the center fielder. Agee makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We're going to go to Bud Harrelson. Bud Harrelson batted .248 in '69 with no home runs. Nicknamed Twiggy. Got into it with Pete Rose later on in '73. A little scuffle at second base when Pete went in there pretty rough, and all brought about by a newspaper interview with Harrelson. And Harrelson was mentioned how the Big Red Machine was hitting looked like he did when he was hitting. Later on, when asked about it, he did say that it was more of a knock on himself than it was on the Reds team, but I guess it didn't sound that way. And it did infuriate a lot of the Reds. Joe Morgan particularly walked up to Harrelson in batting practice and told him that he was going to knock him out if he opened his mouth again, that sort of thing. And so he got the Reds pretty angry, and there was a rough and tumble at second base when Rose went in there hard on a ground ball to the first baseman, Clendenin, that ended up being a double play, but Rose tried his best to break it up, and Bud Harrelson took issue with it, and they exchanged some words, and then they went at it, and both benches cleared, and the bullpens came out on the field, and there was another set of fisticuffs between Capra and an Oriole player. I can't remember the Oriole player right now off the top of my head, but that Oriole player was angry, and pretty angry to say the least. And at the end, when guys started picking up their hats, well, this Oriole player picked up a Mets hat by accident, put it on his head, and one of his teammates said, "Hey, you have a Mets hat on," and this Oriole player took the hat off his head and took a bite out of it, tore a chunk out of the hat, and threw it to the ground. So anyway, let's go to Bud Harrelson batting here in the bottom of the fourth. And that was in the '73 World Series. We're replaying the '69 World Series, and 135. Unusual result. So an unusual result with a red 1 and a black 3. A red 1 and a black 3. Let's say 1-3. Right fielder Iron. No, he is not. Otherwise, a fly out to right. Robinson's there, 1 away. Don Clendenin. Say 2-4-4. Is McNally an ace? No, he is not. Is he a champion? No, he is not. Is he a whiffer? Yes, he is. Strike 3. I'm sorry. I skipped over Jones for some reason. And let's read that again. 2-4-4. Is he a champion? He's a semi-champion. Decided that says no, he is not. Is he a whiffer? No, he is not. So it's a one hopper to the shortstop, Belanger. Belanger rifles it over to first to get Jones by a step. Jones really hustling down the line. Good to see that. 1-2-2. Is McNally a workman? He is not. Champ or a whiffer? Well, he is a whiffer. Clendenin singles through the hole just under Robinson's glove. So the Mets get their first hit of the game. Don Clendenin single through the hole between shortstop and third base, right under Robinson's glove. Swoboda. And it's a 5-6-6. 5-6-6. Is McNally wild? No, he is not. Good eye. He is not. Strikeout. And that takes us to the right now chart. Third strikeout, and the Mets leave one. Top of the fifth, we go to the right now chart. And it's going to be Johnson on the right now chart. And let's quickly... Okay, it's going to be Davy Johnson on the right now chart. So that's going to be 2 dice. See what happens. 4-6. Is it a hot pitcher? Well, no. It's a neutral pitcher. So it's a comebacker to Koosman. Koosman over to first, 1 away. So Johnson grounds to the pitcher. And we're going to see Andy Etchebarren, who popped up to the third baseman, Charles, in his first at bat. And that's going to be a 2-3-6. 2-3-6. Does he have double control? Koosman does not have double control. Pitcher batting, no, it's a walk. First walk allowed by Koosman, walks Etchebarren, and it's Mark Belanger. That's a 2-2-6 for Belanger, 2-2-6. And the decided die says he is not hit by pitch, so you continue on down to the next column. 2-2-6 cleanup batter. He is not the cleanup batter. And a fly out to left field. Is he a whiffer? No, he is not. So fly ball to Jones in left. 2 out. And now it's going to be McNally, the pitcher. Dave McNally. He actually hits a 2-run home run in this game in the actual 69 series. Let's see, 1-3-5. It's unusual. Oh, 1-3-5, so it's a blue 1. A blue 1 with a runner on first. It's an umpire call, so it's 4-6. Lenient umpire at home, it's Lou DeMuro, and he's a semi-strict, so that's a no. Umpire call strike 2, batter still bats. Let's see, 4-4-5. 4-4-5, is he a workman? Koosman is not a workman. 4-4-5. Patient? Not patient. It's a ground ball, 1 hopper to the first baseman, Clendenin. Clendenin takes it himself, and that's a 3rd out. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be Ed Charles, Jerry Grody, and Al Weiss. Ed Charles, 3-4-6. 6. 3, 4, 6. Eager? No. Walk. Charles manages a walk. He's contributing. Jerry Grody. 3, 5, 6. The same. Righty versus McNally's a righty, so yes, and that's strike 3 on Grody. Weiss. Say 1, 4, 5. See a struggler? No. 1, 4, 5. Ground ball to the first baseman. He goes over to Belanger. Belanger back to first. Double play. 3, 6, 3 double play. Go to the top of the 6th. Maybe Don Buford. Say 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Nothing. Blank under the pitcher. Is he patient? He's semi-patient. The side of the die says no, he is not patient. It's a fly out to center field. Paul Blair. 1, 3, 6. Is Koosman an ace? Yes, he is. Strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Koosman. Frank Robinson. 3, 4, 5. Iron catcher, no. Good eye, no. And it's a strikeout. So 3 up, 3 down. And we go to the blue, the right now, baseball right now. Baseball right now. For Tommy, for I believe it's the pitcher. Yeah, Koosman is going to bat. I got to remember to put him back down. Baseball right now for Koosman. 3, 4. Is it a cold batter? He is semi-cold. Actually, we're in the 6th inning. So no, now he's cold. So the answer is yes. It's a dribbler back to the pitcher. And McNally throws it over to the first baseman, Powell, 1 away. Say 3, 3, 6. Is McNally an ace? No, he is not. Sad sack, utility, or patient. Agee is neither of those. Say single to center, we go to the red. Single to center for Tommy Agee. Got a runner at first with 1 out. And we're going to the red chart, which is a player experience chart. And Buddy Harrelson is semi-stoic versus... Let me put Koosman back in there, like I said. Okay. McNally, semi-stoic. I'm sorry. Harrelson, semi-stoic against McNally, stoic. And I'm supposed to roll 2 under the player experience chart. Okay. Let's focus. Icon pitcher, no. So batter connects for a single to center. If he has a triangle, it would be a double, but no, he does not. So it's a single to center. And it was I believe it was a... Single to center. 3, 4, 5, I believe it was. No. We're going to roll this right now, solve the problem. It's a 3. Just trying to figure out where he's going. Runners advance, 2 bases on any single. Okay, problem solved. First and third, Cleon Jones. So the Mets have something brewing here. in the bottom of the 6th inning. After the Koosman bounced back to the pitcher, both Tommy Agee and Bud Harrelson single. We got first and third. And it's a 2-2-4. 2-2-4 for Cleon Jones. Pitching at home, no. Slugger. He's a semi-slugger, but unfortunately for the Mets, the decider die says no, he is not. But they still get something out of it. Instead of a double, it becomes a single to right, and we go to the blue chart, which is the right now chart. Single to right, and that's going to be a run. And on that blue chart, single to right, and runners advance one base on singles. So we're going to get first and second, and that makes the pitcher a struggler because he's allowed 3 consecutive hits in the bottom of the 6th. And the Don Clendenin is the batter now. Mets score a run. They lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Okay. So we have first and second, and Don Clendenin is the batter. And we're going to go to the right now chart because it's 2-2-4. It's the right now chart. See what happens with that for Don Clendenin. And it's a 2-6. Is it a hot pitcher? No, it is not. It's actually a cold pitcher right now. Pitch misses, driven to right field for a base hit. And that's going to be a 2, lead die 2. And advances to 1 base on a single. So we got 4 consecutive hits. Oh, he was a semi-struggler there with 3 consecutive. Then he becomes a struggler now with 4 consecutive hits. And the bases are loaded for Ron Swoboda. And that's going to force Earl Weaver to go to the pen. And he's had a couple of guys warming up out there. And we are going to see Eddie Watt. Eddie Watt, a righty versus a righty. A little baggy. See, we put these in these little baggies here to protect him from my greasy paws. I got these from this company. Mayday Games, 50 by 75. Probably be better if it was about 46, I think. So the next one I get, I'm going to look for 76. The 75 is the 46 by 75. That would be perfect. Now, I don't know if they make them, so I'm going to have to look into that. But Eddie Watt comes in to pitch. We're going to write him in, and we're going to color in the book. Eddie Watt, let's look at the lineup so we don't have to do a double switch. No double switch necessary at this moment. And Eddie Watt is going to come in, and I'm going to color in with a pencil, an orange pencil. See that? I'm going to color in the Swoboda box, the Charles box, and he's going to go at least 3 batters right now. But I'll color in 2. Actually, with nobody out, I'm going to color in 3. Oh, actually, there's 1 out. 1 out. Okay. So Ron Swoboda against Eddie Watt. All right, let's go Ron Swoboda. Bases loaded. 1 out for the Mets. Infield in 1-3-6. 1-3-6. Eddie Watt is an ace, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Eddie Watt comes in, gets Swoboda to strike out. Then we go to Ed Charles. And the Mets are going to pinch hit for Charles. The Mets are going to pinch hit for Charles. It's going to be Shamsky, and then Garrett is going to replace Charles at third base. So Shamsky, a lefty, he's a hero and a home run, semi-home run king. We'll look at his card now. Take a look at that. See what Shamsky does. With the bases loaded and 2 out. Let's see, 1-2-6. 1-2-6 asked me if the pitcher is fresh, and Eddie Watt is fresh because he just came in. It's his first inning, so he lines it to Davey Johnson at second. And that's all she wrote. So Eddie Watt comes into the game and limits the damage. The Mets only get 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's write in Shamsky. So Shamsky pinch hits, and he lines it. Shamsky for Charles, bottom of the 6th. And with the bases loaded, he lines it to the second baseman, Davey Johnson, for the 3rd out. Let's go to Frank Robinson. I'm sorry, it's Boog Powell coming up. And Koosman still rolling along with a 1-hitter here in the top of the 7th. Let's say a 2-3-5. A 2-3-5. See, Wild, Eager, no. Patient, no. 1 hopper to Weiss. Weiss over to first. 1 away, they retire Powell. Powell had 37 home runs and batted .304 in 69. So the fact that every time you retire him, you kind of breathe a sigh of relief. And it's a 2-4-6 for Brooke Robinson. 2-4-6. Is Koosman control? Yes, he is. It's a comebacker. Koosman gets a glove on it. Over to Clendenon, 2 away. And Davey Johnson, 4-4-6. 4-4-6. Is Koosman a star? He's an ace. Sensac utility or patient? No. Single to right. Second hit of the game allowed by Koosman. Johnson's on at first. Andy Etchebarren. Let's say 1-4-6. See flash? He's semi-flash. Decided to die, says no. Etchebarren champion, no. And it's a 1 hopper to the second baseman, Weiss. Weiss flips over to the shortstop, Harrelson, for the force. Go to the bottom of the 7th. And we're going to see Jerry Grody against Eddie Watt. Let's say 3-5-5. Is Eddie Watt a struggler? No. Champion? Batter? No. Is he a whiffer? And yes, he is. Strike 3. Grody just stood there. Watch that curveball. It's a strikeout. That's a second strikeout for Watt. And it's Al Weiss, light-hitting second baseman for the Mets. And it's a 1-4-5. See, struggler, no. Ground ball to the right side. And that's Powell. Takes it himself. Now we have Jerry Koosman batting. 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Say 5-6-6. See, Wild, good eye. No. Strikeout takes us to the blue. 3rd strikeout for Watt. Then we go to the right now chart for the Orioles. Belanger. Top of the 8th inning. We go to the right now chart. Let's say 1-2-5. Is he a struggler? No, he is not a struggler. Patient. No, he's not a patient. And it's a two-woofer. No, it's a ground ball to the third baseman, Charles. Charles over to first. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a right now, Charles. I totally screwed up. I mentioned that a couple of times just to remind myself. And I didn't do it. There you go. There you go. That's what happens. Lose your memory. All right. Right now, chart 1-5. Is the batter cold? Well, the batter, no, he's not cold. He's neutral. So, batter pounces on pitch for single through shortstop. So Belanger gets on base, and we're gonna get a pinch hitter for. It's gonna be. Let's see. Koosman, a righty. Okay, we're gonna get Dalrymple. He's, if you see this, watch the series, 69 series, he pinch hits a few times. Dalrymple with a runner on first, and Watt. You know what? We are going to bunt. I'm just going to ask Watt to bunt. So we're not going to pinch hit right now. Not going to pinch hit. And we're going to let Eddie Watt bat, and he's going to bunt. I'm loving it. The more I get into it, the more familiar I become with the rules. I'm really, really starting to groove with History Maker Baseball. So, yeah. It's not all the numbers, just reading off numbers. It's a conversation. You've got all this information on the hitters, on the pitchers, on the umpires. Yeah, it's actually kind of almost like reliving history, going back and reliving history. So it's very, very powerful. They've really hit onto something here, very special, I think. So it's if you watch a lot of baseball games and you watch games that maybe not as close as you would like, and it usually becomes just a chit chat session, and that's what this is. So a lot of game, it really gives you that real true feel of what loving baseball is all about. You don't switch it off because it's not a close game. Sometimes the greatest stories come from games that are 10-1. Because guys in the booth just sit there and tell stories and tell jokes and make comments and give their opinions and expose some of their private thoughts and so forth. And it's a lot of sometimes hilarity that goes on. Let me get back to this. I don't know exactly where I was. Okay, we're sacrificing 2 on the sacrifice chart. 2 active runners, safe at first, runners advance. Okay, so Watt is not an active runner. He's stoic. So runners advance, so it's a successful sacrifice. And Belanger is at second. Yeah, normally I'd be at work today, but it was supposed to be a snowstorm. So they canceled. They shut down my job. And so I'm here playing baseball all day. So I got up nice and early, got to sleep early, and got up early, and said, okay, let me get started. I'll probably play 2 or 3 games today. And it's Buford with a runner on second base. The tying run is at second here in the top of the 8th inning. And Jerry Koosman is pitching for the Mets. He's got a shutout going, so he's semi-fresh in the top of the 8th. 1 out, Buford. 2-4-6. Is Koosman control? Yes, he is. It's a comebacker. Koosman handles it. And the choice. Put the runner on second. Active runner on third scores. One of the runners hold. One of the runners on base. So it's 1-3. And he's going to hold at second base on this. And it's Paul Blair with 2 out. The tying run at second base here in the top of the 8th inning. The Mets need to win this game to go back to Baltimore to play Game 6. They lose, they're out. 4-6-6 for Paul Blair. 4-6-6. So is Koosman wild? No. Home run king or slugger? He is a slugger. Strikeout. Whoa. Paul Blair, I thought that ball was gone. So Koosman gets him to strike out. His 5th strikeout. And after 7.5, it's the Mets 1, the Orioles nothing. And I thought that was all she wrote for the Mets there. All right, Tommy Agee. In the bottom of the 8th against Eddie Watt. Let's say 1-4-4. Flash. He's semi-flash. Decided to die, says no. Hero. Agee's not a hero. See, semi-Whifford decided to die, says no. It's a ground ball to Belanger. Belanger over to Powell. 1 away. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Mets leading 1-0. They need this game to stay alive in this series. Say 2-3-4. 2-3-4. Plate drama. Plate drama. 2-3-4. Plate drama. Let's look at something. 2-3-4. Oh, it says, okay, it says runners on base. And there are no runners on base. Okay, so there's no plate drama. 2-3-4. So it's a hot batter. Is he a hot batter? Bud Harrelson is a hot batter. 2-3-4. Okay. So it's a, we go to the fence chart. The fence micro chart. And Harrelson is a scrapper, so there's a column for that. And you roll a one-sided die. And see what happens. A 1. It's a single for the scrappy Bud Harrelson, nicknamed Twiggy, for his 160-pound frame. But he was a tough one. Got into it with Pete Rose, who was about 35 pounds heavier in that 73 World Series. So he was a fan favorite over at Shea Stadium in Flushing, Queens, New York. Great deco stadium that lasted until 2008, 10 years ago. Amazing deco architecture on that Shea Stadium. I'd like to have a picture of Shea here. I gotta have one here, so when I play these games, I can pull out Shea Stadium. Okay, so runner on first, 1 away, and it's Cleon Jones. 2-3-5 for Cleon Jones. 2-3-5. Is Watt wild? No. Eager? No. Ground out to second base, and the second baseman Johnson over to Belanger for the force. Throw to first, not in time. Jones beats it out. So Jones is at first, 2 outs, and Don Clendenon. Don Clendenon is the hot batter of the day. He hit 2 two-run home runs in yesterday's game, Game 4. He actually was the MVP of the 1969 series. 2-2-6. The batter hit by pitch. Decider dies, says yes. Hit by pitch. So he's singled twice, and now he's hit by pitch. So he's gotten on base 3 consecutive times. And let's, it looks like we're gonna, the bullpen has been stirring for a while now. They've had a couple of guys up and warming up. And we're gonna bring one of those boys in here. And we're gonna probably bring a, let's see who we're going to bring in. We are going to bring in Leonard. He belongs in the Mets. I'm not really familiar with a lot of these players, so sometimes I'll put the New York players in on the bench with the Oriole players. Don't recognize a lot of these names from the late '60s, but I'm getting there. Okay, Dave Leonard is going to come in. He pitched in a bunch of games in. At least I know he made an appearance in the '69 World Series. So he's going to be Leonard is going to be blue now. He's going to be, so I'm going to pencil his slots or the boxes on the score sheet in blue for him. And it's going to be Ron Swoboda. After Clendenin is hit by a pitch, there's first and second now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Let's need a couple of insurance runs. Ron Swoboda, 3.66. Let's see what we get out of this one. Is he a pinch hitter? No. Fly ball to center, Blair, for the 3rd out. So the Mets come up empty in this bottom of the 8th. And we go to the top of the 9th. It's going to be Koosman against the heart of the order, the meat of the order for the Orioles. He will face Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and Brooks Robinson. They total for almost 100 home runs. So these are actually the guys that you don't want to face in the top of the 9th in a 1-0 game that you're winning. So here goes. Frank Robinson. Mets need this game to continue and go on to Baltimore for Game 6. Say 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No, definitely not a struggler. Well, actually, I have to roll 1 die to find out if he stays semi-fresh. Okay, so he is not semi-fresh. So now he is a semi-struggler. But that was the decided die said no. So it's a 1, 2, 5. He is not a struggler. And is the batter patient? He's semi-patient. The decided die says no, he is not patient. And it's a ground out. Is he a whiffer? No, it's a ground out to the 3rd baseman. We replace Wayne Garrett over to first, and that's 1 away. Woo, man, that was close. So right now, as it stands, Koosman is a semi-struggler. So we may have to consider pulling him immediately if there's somebody gets on base here. He's got a shutout going, so I rolled, and it said that he was not a semi-struggler. So he is a struggler at this point. No, I'm sorry. He was not semi-fresh. He was a semi-struggler. So he's a semi-struggler at this point, from my understanding of the rules. But I'm getting better at that. 3, 5, 6. Are they the same? Powell is a lefty and Koosman is a lefty. So that's a strikeout. Strikeout. 7th strikeout for Koosman. Strikes out Boog Powell. And now you have Brooks Robinson. And that's a 3-3-4. 3-3-4 ace. Koosman is an ace. So that's a pop-up. And not very high. Koosman's going to call for it. I'm sorry. That's Clendenin comes over and takes it. So that's the 3rd out, and the Mets win it by a score of 1-0. Man, that was a close one. So the Mets now are going to travel to Baltimore for Game 6. The series is 3-2 Orioles, and the replay, the 1969 World Series replay that I'm doing using History Maker Baseball. This was the last game we played at Shea. And let me do tally up. The Orioles had no runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 hits, and no errors. And the Mets had 1 run on 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits. And let's see, any errors? No errors. So that's all she wrote for today. Koosman gets the win, McNally gets the loss. And that's all she wrote for Game 5. This is actually the shoe polish game. Outrageous incident that occurs with when Cleon Jones is batting, and McNally throws a pitch that skips to the dugout, and Jones claims that he was hit in the foot, but the umpire didn't see it, so Clendenin doesn't get first base, and out comes Gil Hodges with a baseball and shows it to the umpire. The umpire looks at the baseball and looks at a little small scuff mark there, and he sends Cleon Jones to first base. So that's the beginning, I believe, of an inning where the Mets get a couple of runs, and at that point they were losing 3-0 in that Game 5, and the Mets gain a couple of runs, and then they get another run, and they end up winning that game. So anyway, that's the famous shoe polish incident that happens in Game 5. So we go to Game 6 next, and it's going to be in Baltimore. I don't know yet who the pitchers will be. I have to look that up. And I'll talk to you guys soon, and thanks for commenting and watching, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Take care, guys. There'll be a game in a few hours. I'm going to go rest a while, do some research, and I'll be back. Take care now.